Hoot. Alright. Alright, alright, alright. Excuse me, guys. Alrighty. Let's get this up and going. It's a little janky setup tonight, but can't get the damn remote play to be working. So we're gonna have to just broadcast straight from the PS4. Which isn't ideal, but it's gonna work. You know, we'll make it work tonight. So Enter the Gungeon, one of my favorite games of the last couple of years, if not my favorite game of the last few years. Just released on Nintendo Switch today. So we're gonna play some Enter the Gungeon to celebrate. This version's on PS4 obviously, and we're streaming straight from PS4. But we're gonna go through. We're gonna have some decent runs. We're gonna try out some different characters, and we're really just gonna go from there. We're gonna just kind of play this out, enjoy it, and have some fun with it tonight. Like I said, it's a little different setup than we normally do, but we'll make it work. So we're gonna start out as the Marine. Now each of these 6 different characters here has unique abilities, unique weapons, and then on each floor there's 2 chests. Typically there's 2 chests. One's a passive or active, and then the other one is a gun of some sort, ranging all the way from brown chests to black chests, which are the rarest. So we're gonna go, since it's the first day it's been on the Nintendo Switch, we're gonna go as all the base characters and their defaults. And forgive me if I'm a little bit rusty, but starting out as the Marine, we should be doing pretty well though. So we'll do a Marine run first, get us started, get our kind of legs back under us, and we will go from there. So let's see how we do. Generating? Alright. Floor 1. Keep up the lead, Lord. Ooh. I can already tell my aim's a bit off. I have not played this in a while. Been playing kind of a variety of games lately. Just trying to get the stream really up and running and play around with some settings. Like I said, this isn't the ideal setup for tonight, but it's gonna have to work. Just the share play on PS4 was just not working for me at all today. So we're just gonna stream straight from it. Bit of a weird setup, but hopefully we can get it fixed in the past. We can get our alerts going and everything else going. Nice. Decent first start here. Pick everybody out. These little grenades are dangerous, especially early game. Where are you at? There you are, Bulkin. Oh, hello. Did not see you there. So we're just going to see how the floors go. If we end up taking on the Lich, if we have a good enough run, we'll take on the Lich. If not, we'll call it good at some dragon runs. And hopefully we can go, you know, do some perfect runs here where no hits, all the master rounds, all that. Being as rusty as I am, I'm not sure that's going to happen. So that's a blue chest, so that's the second tier chest. So it goes brown, blue, green, red, and black, and then there are cursed chests, or glitch chests, I'm sorry, and rainbow chests, which are both extremely rare. Now the only downside to this releasing on the Nintendo Switch today is that it means the big update for this got pushed back to the start of the year. Which is a bummer, because I've been dying to play the new update, Advanced Dungeons and Dragons. So I really want to play that when it comes out, and we'll definitely be streaming that once it comes out. Like I said, this has become easily one of my favorite games. Just haven't played in a while, been a bit rusty at it. You can already tell some of my dodges are a little shaky. This game is really about timing though. And I mean, really about timing and knowing the characters, knowing your enemy's patterns. Oh, I don't want the key quite yet. So you don't want to pick up a key right away if you can avoid it. Because if you leave it there and don't pick up a key, your shop's guaranteed to have at least one key in it. But if you pick it up, there's no guarantee at all that it's going to have any keys in it. And keys in this game are critical. Keys and health, that's what you want to go for. If you can get a surplus of either or, that's great. Now these are just standard bullet can here, these little yellow enemies. That's a little summoner dude, and then that's a gun knight. Big dude with all of the sword and all this armor. Actually pretty easy to take out, but as long as you isolate him, if you get to multiple enemies and then he surrounds you, then it gets a little shaky. But by themselves, they're not difficult at all. Hopefully we can get enough to show you guys a few secret levels. Oh, don't brace my barrel. That's unfortunate. So on the first floor, there's always this fireplace room. And now, with the latest update, there's always at least one water barrel in it. If you kick the water barrel into the fire, you can actually hope to go down to a secret level. That's actually, I'd say difficulty-wise, between floor 2 and floor 3, somewhere in there. It's not as hard as floor 4, but doing it real early game, that's a major challenge. But it means you get an extra floor to have extra guns, extra passive or actives, you know, extra chances to get more keys, more money. So it's worth going to if you can. If you can't, it's completely understandable, but now those are blanks, those little blue things in the top left under my health. Those will clear out all the shots within the area around your character, which is kind of super helpful in avoiding taking damage. Now this I would consider a terrible shot. He only has one key, and he has a terrible starting weapon. The Phoenix, it's a bronze level, or brown level weapon I should say. I keep saying bronze. So it's at the very bottom end of weapons. It's okay. I mean, if that's your only option, I'd almost prefer the Marine starting pistol over it. It's just it obstructs your view a little too much when you fire, because it does a little kind of fireball right in front of you. Oh. Well then. Okay, so we got a brown chest and a blue chest. Not the best start. Let's see, and down here should be one more room. Nope, just the boss. Let's take on the boss. Let's see who we get. Ooh, and we get the bullet twins. Trigger twins. I always call them bullet twins, because, you know, they are giant bullets. But that Shades down at the bottom, and the one I'm focusing on, ooh boy, is Smiley. And you can actually get both of their weapons in this game. They're both, let's say, blue tier weapons, if I remember right. So they're both actually decent, and if you get them together, you actually, ooh, just dodged it. You actually get a nice little bonus to each weapon if you have both of them. Ooh, shoot. Tell I'm a bit rusty. I'm getting myself in spots I shouldn't be in. So ideally in this boss fight, you want to isolate one of the two and just take them out first. And then you just have to deal with the one. But the one thing you don't want to do, which I started to do there, was put yourself between both of them, and I got hit. Damn. Okay. So it's not so bad. We only lost one bit of armor. But the downside to that is now that we can't get the master round. And the master round is if you beat the boss flawlessly, you get an extra heart. So you get a full extra heart. Oh, I got hit twice. My rolls are really off today. And those extra hearts are just critical to your surviving. So once those hearts are gone, it's done. Ooh, and a bit of a weak gun to the grenade launcher. It's not bad. It's a decent weapon in itself. Just it's a little short on ammo. Okay, so no secret room here. We are going to open up that blue chest and probably just go down to floor 2, or up to floor 2, however you want to look at it. So let's see what we get in this blue. Okay, okay. Heavy bullets is good. Heavy bullets makes them slower, but it increases their damage. So it's a trade-off there. You have slower rounds, but each one does a bit more damage. So let's go grab this key. And let's head back to the shop. So now, we could spend one of these keys on this brown chest. But if we spend it here, and we get an unfortunate shot next round, it's kind of a waste of a key. Plus it's only a round, passive or active, which There's a few good ones, don't get me wrong, there's a few really good ones. But there's a lot of bad ones. So we got junk, which you get on occasion for destroying a chest. You don't always get it. Sometimes you get nothing, sometimes you get ammo, sometimes you get health. Really just depends on the day and how the kind of level generates out. So you saw me blank in this room and over in the shop. There's always a secret room on every floor. So if you use a blank to unlock it, that's ideal, and that can have anything from a half a heart in it to multiple chests in it. So it's always worth looking for if you can. If you can't, it's alright too, you know. You'd rather flawless a boss than get a random chest, is the way I see it. So let's see here. Let's get floor 2 started. Uh-oh. Don't like seeing you right away. Okay. Ooh. Oh, I'm in a bad spot. Okay, I got him. Whew, that is one of the early kind of tough enemies if you don't know how to beat him right away. Really it's a matter of doing as much damage as quickly as you can because it's invincible when it's closed. And then just dodging his shots as soon as they come out, because they'll try to follow you. So if you kind of juke them one way and then go the other, that's what you ideally want to do to dodge his attacks. Early shop's always good. Early shop means we can kind of focus on picking up keys whenever we see them. Big iron I like. It's a little expensive there. Oh. Oh, hello. Gungeon strain. Arguably one of the best, if not the best, passive in the game. What it does is all your enemies take extra damage or have less health, however you want to look at it. That's all the other enemies, so every enemy in the game's weaker. Pistol's Tentacle's decent, kind of locks on the enemies and traps them for damage. Plague Pistol, it's fine. It's a brown tier, so it's not a biggie. So hopefully we can afford either Big Iron or Gungeon strain. Ideally Gungeon strain, but I'm gonna have to get real lucky with some coin drops on this one. And we just went in a big circle. So that's one of the other reasons you really want to keep an eye out for keys on the floor. More keys you can obtain on the floor, less you actually have to buy in shops, and that saves you money for those special shops like the one we just saw. And then the keys in all the shops gradually increase in price. So each floor they get more and more expensive. So if you can buy a bunch of keys in an early shop, do it. Stock up while you can. Get these guys out. And really? Double ammo? I'll take one, just to take one. Now if you ever see these green kind of torches, that means it's a shrine room. And there's different shrines throughout the game. There's a few I like, a few I don't like. Really just depends on how the run's going, if you need to use the shrines. You don't get them in every run, but you get them in most runs. Let's take out the gun knight. That's really easy. That's a good coin drop. Those guys, the max they can drop is 10 coins, so that's always a good drop to get. Ooh, we should have waited on that barrel. It's okay. I think we can still get through this. That barrel's super helpful on this room. Okay. Because you can kind of lead them all into it and then explode it right as they're coming by. It really helps clear out this floor a little bit quicker. Ooh. Oh, hello. I did not see you up there. Oh boy. Didn't see your friend either. Damn. Okay. Yeah. And my rolls are a bit off this round. And now if you take damage from an enemy, that enemy doesn't drop any coins for you. So it's in your favor not to get hit. Less you get hit, more money you can obtain from enemies, better weapons you can buy, better passives, better actives. There's a lot of benefits to not getting hit outside of just, you know, having more health going into boss fights. Ooh, and that's a veteran. Now veterans, for newer players, tend to be a little tougher. As soon as you know what they do, it's pretty easy to take them down. Oh, hello, red chest. Hello. But what you want to do with veterans, because they'll lead their shots, so they'll kind of detect which way you're moving. So if you're moving to the right, they'll aim their shots farther to the right, trying to catch you off. So if you just kind of stay where you are and focus them down, it's a little bit easier to get rid of them and not do what I just did and roll right into the shots. It's a bad example of what to do against a veteran. So there's the single veteran, the one who just hit me. And then there's the shotgun veteran, who we saw in that last room. I still don't need the ammo. Stop giving me ammo when I have no weapons. Reason I'm not using the grenade launcher to clear out the floor though, is because you want a boss weapon. You want something that's going to kill the boss a little bit quicker. Oh, these brown chests today. Because the longer you're in a boss fight, the more likely you are to take damage. Just kind of tends to be how it goes. You know, the longer you're in any room with enemies, the higher the chance that you're going to get hit on something is. So if you can avoid that, use kind of the weakest weapon you can to get through the floor, and then save your best weapons for the boss fight. That's ideal. That's really what you want to do. Now, it's not always the case. Sometimes, you know, you're low on health and you just need to clear out the room as quick as you can. You know, that's totally understandable. But to try to have some longevity in the game, you really want to kind of focus on using your weakest weapon that you can get away with. So if you don't feel confident in using the starting pistol, you know, on floor 2, which normally I feel pretty confident in doing, by all means use the gun you picked up on the previous floor. Just realize it's going to make your boss fight a little bit harder if you don't pick anything else up as you go. So we're making our way. We're taking a little bit of damage, but as I knew we would. Like I said, I'm a bit rusty at the game. Haven't played in a while. But we will have some better runs. I'll get back into the groove of things and the timing of everything. Like I said, this game has a lot of timing in it that you don't really notice until you start playing a lot. It's a lot of timing on when to dodge, when to roll. If you can dodge a shot, dodge the shot. Because rolling takes you out of control. As soon as you roll up, you can't move, you can't adjust your position. So if you can just kind of slightly dodge all your shots, that's really going to help out. And that takes time. It takes time, it takes practice. It's not something you're going to get on your first couple runs. But it will. You will get it though. Just time and practice. It's all you need to get better. Those two things, time and practice at this game. And what I really like about this game is that, you know, if you die, it's no biggie. You go back, you start again. You know, the floor generates differently every time. So each run's different. Each run will have a variety of different chests and levels and rooms. You know, if you play the game enough, you'll get to know some of the rooms, just how they're set up. You'll get to know, okay, in this room, this enemy's going to show up. In that room, that enemy's going to show up. That sort of thing. But that takes a lot of time, a lot of practice. Let's see what we can do. Okay, Gorgon, not a bad fight. Especially with the grenade launcher. She spreads poison here, so kind of be careful. Can't believe that shot just ricocheted off the little tomb. That's rough. So I'm kind of in a bad position. You never really want to be on the top end of her. You kind of want to always stay below or on the side of her. You can just dodge attacks a little easier that way. They're a bit easier to time. And a lot of boss fights are about positioning and knowing patterns. So this, for the most part, she goes through 3 patterns. It's the 3 we've been seeing. The kind of machine gun shot there. The big one where she spreads out. That, if you don't roll through it, it'll actually freeze you. And you won't be able to shoot her at all. And we are out of ammo. And then she does this little pull thing. Tries to poison you and kind of limits your space to move. We are going to use a blank there so we can just knock her out. And there we go. Gorgon fight's one of the easier fights on the second floor. I think it's probably the easiest. But it all depends on your preference. So that's a master round. And you can see in the top left how it just gave us a full extra heart. Get our armor back and we get the Ice Giant. Ice Giant's a pretty good gun. It's an okay boss weapon. I like it more as a room clearer. So you could kind of crowd control with it better. Oh, and we're at 91, so we can't quite afford Andromeda Strain. But let's go see what we got in the red chest first, and we'll kind of go from there. That'll decide what we do in our shop. It's just, ooh, okay. Orange Guanstone. So that one will pop up real quick. It attacks enemies, so basically it'll shoot a shot out every now and then. And yours past the orange Guanstone boosted its bearer's damage. But the belligerent at the core of the stone has grown so enraged that the stone itself now lashes out at foes. So basically it'll spin around us constantly, and on occasion it'll just shoot at enemies. What's really nice about Guanstones, and they're kind of underrated in my opinion, is that they block shots. So that anytime a shot crosses that little orange thing that's floating around us, it'll actually hit it and take away that shot. So that's one less bullet we have to worry about dodging, one less shot that's going to actually hit us. Especially if you can get some multiple Guanstones going, you can really kind of build up a defense without having to do anything. We are going to shoot this chest. Brown chests, for the most part, aren't worth opening. They're really good passives. They're really good guns in there. I mean, the sling is amazing as a boss weapon. But we have a decent set. We have an okay boss clear. We have a decent room clear. Ooh, I really wish we could get this though. We need 24 more, so we're just not going to get there. I could buy Abyssal Tentacle for 86. I think it's a little bit pricey. Big Iron 78. Ooh. Really wanted to buy at least 2 of these things. Don't quite have enough, so we're just going to take the key and we're going to save our money. I know it's a bit weird saving 61. A newer player in that situation, I would honestly say take Big Iron. It's going to help clear your rooms a little bit faster, and it's a decent boss weapon, especially on bigger bosses. Little ones like the Gorgon, it's not great because it's kind of a shotgun and all the shots spread. But I've played enough, I believe in my abilities enough that I think I can get through it with the Ice Giant and then save the grenade launcher for the boss. Now there are rooms like this where they're just trap rooms, there's no enemies in them. It's just kind of have timing down, look at the trap, and think about how to defeat it. Ooh, and I forgot we had heavy bullets. That's going to help out even more. These little guys, if you can just avoid them, just avoid them. You know, it saves you ammo at the end of the day is what it really does. Oh, we got Mike going up on the chat. Ooh, shoot him. So those guys are relatively new. They weren't at the start of the game. They're with one of the latest updates. They're the, I don't know, key guys, I guess what you call them. So if you defeat them before they disappear, where did this guy go? Oh, he's down here. You actually get an extra key. But the same key rules apply though. So if you pick that up, there's going to be no no keys in the shop. Or no guarantee that there's keys in the shop. This is probably the best shrine you can get. It's the glass Guanstones. So bam. So it gives us 3 more. So now we have 4. But the big thing about the glass Guanstones though is if you get hit, they're gone. So as soon as you get them, you want to make sure you don't take any more damage. Kind of messed up there. I should have saved that for the boss fight. That's more of what you want to do with those. Ooh. You save it for the boss fight, then you have it, and you don't have to worry about getting hit in one of these rooms and losing it, because they're great protection. Only downside is you can almost outrun them. So if you're a little too fast on some areas, you gotta kind of watch where you're at, or you'll get hit real quick on them. Alright, this is a room I see in a lot of runs. It's actually pretty simple. Just hop across. It's a little bit harder if you start at the other side. Oops. I know I'm going a little quick through some of these rooms, but I'm trying to get through as many runs as possible tonight. So forgive me if I don't explain any enemy on this first run. I will try to, as we go, kind of explain most of the enemies. Especially for newer players on Switch who haven't played this game before or want to try it out. Ooh, and we're out of ammo already. That's not good. Where are we at? So back to our starting pistol. Wow, I really burned through the flash giant quick this time. Now, one thing I haven't talked about is the Marine's passive, which is on the bottom left corner. It's actually a free ammo drop. It's only one, so you gotta kind of be strategic about when you use it. But that's really powerful. If you get a gun that's just carrying you through games, something like the Heroin or the Mega Hand, something that's just a great all-around weapon, you don't want to lose that weapon. You don't want to be out of ammo, out of money for a shop because you bought something else, and you have no way to refill it. So that's why the Marine has kind of that backup plan. It's not the best, in my opinion, the best kind of starting active or passive. I really like the Hunter's Dog, because that can just dig you up anything. And if you see the purple lanterns, it's a special room of some sort. So this one's a gun muncher. You give it 2 guns and it spits out something new. Kind of nice thing to note about the gun muncher. And there's a lot of things this game just doesn't tell you. It's trial and error. It's figuring things out. Oh boy. Is that if you give a gun muncher 2 guns at the same level, so let's say you give it 2 green guns, it's going to spit you out a new green gun. But if you give it, let's say, a green gun and a brown gun, it's going to spit you out the lowest level. Most of the time. There's a slight chance it'll give you an upgrade, but most of the time it's going to spit you out something at the lowest level. What you might see a lot of people who play this game do is they'll pop up the map a lot. It's kind of just a habit you get after a while. Mainly I use it to make sure I've been to a shop. You'd be surprised of how many times I think I've gone to a shop and I actually haven't. Or vice versa, where I haven't gone to the shop and I thought I had for some reason, and you pick up a key or you run into something that you really shouldn't spend money on to start. So you'll see a lot of people do it. Now all these little green circles here are teleport spots, so I can hit it at any time and it teleports me to that room. And then I can step back on the panel, hit it again, and it teleports me right back to where I was. So it's kind of a useful tool to get through the levels a little bit quicker. Something to kind of note when you're doing quick runs is that, oh, this is going to be tough for him actually. Hang on one sec, guys, I gotta kind of get through this. Don't want to lose the glass Blondstone. So this little kind of bastard up here, he'll buff a single enemy. So ideally you want to take him out first, because he buffs them, they do a little bit quicker, and they do more damage. Well, they don't do more damage, but they have more shots and more potential to do damage. And I'm doing a terrible job of getting to him. He's actually being pretty resilient on me this time. They're not strong, they don't attack you until all the other enemies are gone, so you don't have to worry about them too much, but they affect your level really hard. Like, if you don't take these guys out quickly, they're going to take you out pretty quick. There we go, cleared that out. Grenade out. Summoner dude. Summons a bunch of shots. Let's dive this way, there we go. So we're getting a decent amount of money on this run. Okay, nothing there. See, and this is a lot of the time if you use the map quickly, like, there's no reason for me to keep going. I've already explored that room. It's quicker just to teleport down, go to a new room. Oh, don't pick up the key. Right, have I visited the shop? I visited the shop. See, things like that, where I just completely forgot we had been in the shop. So let's keep going this way here. That's a veteran there. Ooh, I do not want a veteran on a minecart. That's just asking to take damage. So if you can tell, I'm kind of staying in one position for the most part and taking them out. That's ideally what you want to do. You don't want to move too much against the veterans. Nice and easy floor. Now if you ever see that little face, most of the time it's Link. It's this little guy who looks like Link. I think he's technically different than Link, but he asks you to fill the map. So as soon as you fill out the map on the floor, teleport back to him, and then he'll give you either a random weapon, random passive, see, and it'll pop up map complete. But we don't want to go to him yet, because if we go to him and he gives us a weapon, it's going to count against us in the boss. Something I haven't really talked about yet is that if you don't open a chest or get a weapon before you face the boss is guaranteed to give you a weapon. So bosses won't always give you weapons if you pick up things. They still can, but it's not a guarantee anymore. more weapons you have, more ammo you have, more chances you have to not use the base pistol. That's not to say that the boss is going to give you a good weapon. A lot of the times I've gotten brown weapons when I've taken the boss down with a black or red chest weapon. It happens. It's kind of the style of the game. Ooh. Oh, boy. Okay, I had to use 2 blanks real early there. Not great against the tank. And I'm out of ammo already. Squan stones are saving me a little bit. You want to take these guys out if you can, if they're kind of going in your general direction. That's a lot of bullets. Because they're just going to make your life harder. Like, they're going to add more shots to it. They're going to add more potential damage on board. So, you really just got to play it smart. Take them out if you can. If you can't, just kind of isolate them. So, leave them off by themselves. Or get their shots to kind of line up with the boss's shots. I'm going to take them out here because I want to go up this way. And like this boss, it's a lot of... You can hide behind these pillars, but he can destroy them. What you really want to do is kind of circle around, use them for some protection. I got a little clunky early in this fight, so I'm having to face him kind of straight up. This is not good. It's not good. We could use our little ammo drop to give us some ammo kind of mid-fight. The only downside of that is you have to stop to pick it up. So it drops one of those little green squares we saw earlier in the game. It'll drop one of those. Ooh, barely made it. But you have to go over, select the other weapon, and pick it up. So that's more time, more potential to get hit. Rather just work it out with the base pistol, figure it out, and we'll go from there. Some health, get another master round. Skull Spitter is actually pretty good. It's a decent kind of all-around weapon. We're really hurting for ammo here, but thankfully we have a green chest. Green chest is kind of ideally what you want. If you get a red or a black, awesome. Green chest, kind of the bulk of the game. That's one of the worst green chest passives as I talk about it, because it is the Ring of Chest Vampirism. So heals upon breaking a chest open. So basically, it'll always drop a heart or half heart if you destroy a chest. It's not great. It's really not. It's kind of a weak green weapon. Either the holster's decent. So you notice on the very, very bottom right, it's a different ammo type. That means that shot's going to be something different. That shot's either going to be an explosive shot with some guns. On this one, it spawns a little kind of minion dude to help you out. Sure, our map. He gave me Demon Head. Demon Head's actually a pretty cool weapon. It's a laser-based weapon instead of a shot-based weapon. So interacts a little differently in the world. Flash Ray is okay. Nothing really wrong with Flash Ray. I think with Demon Head now and Skull Spitter we're going to be okay. I am going to take the key. Make sure we have keys for the next floor. And I don't want to gun munch anything because both of those weapons I'd actually put ammo back in. I'd refill the Ice Giant and I'd refill the Grenade Launcher. Grenade Launcher's not great, mainly because it doesn't have a lot of ammo. It does decent damage, it just doesn't have a lot of ammo. But we'll use the reholster to get through this floor. So we're up to floor 4. There's 5 floors on the base game, and then as you unlock more things, there becomes a 6th floor. There's the oubliette, which we weren't able to get to. And then there's the... Oh, what is the old... It's where the old king is, and I can't remember what the floor is actually called. The old keep? No, that's not right. This gun. So there's kind of a total of... What is that? 8 floors? And see, that's the little minion this thing summons with that last shot. Now those guys we just fought... The thing to remember about them is they can't take status effects. They're essentially like stone enemies. So if you have a weapon that lights things on fire or a weapon that poisons, it's not going to affect those guys. Just something to be aware of. So damage them out early, take them down. Ooh, there's a veteran. I didn't realize was a veteran until it was almost too late. Those are the Screaming Head dudes. I don't remember their actual name. Just checking the game out. It's a fun game, it really is. don't be discouraged if it's hard at first. This game tends to not hold your hand at all. Just kind of lets you do your thing. It is fun though, once you get used to the dodge roll timing and kind of what's a good weapon, what's a bad weapon, what's something you should kind of pick up, knowing enemy patterns. You can actually get really good at the game really quickly. But like I said, just don't get discouraged playing 3-4 runs and you die on the 2nd, 3rd floor. That happens to everybody, you know. I've had runs even this far into the game where they've just gone poorly and I've died a floor in, 2 floors in. You know, it happens to everybody. But I would definitely recommend it though. If you're looking for something that's going to be different every time you play, something that's actually challenging, I would definitely say check it out, give it a shot. I want to say it's like 15 bucks on Switch, right about the same on Steam and PS4, and I believe it's on Xbox One as well now. I'm kind of started on PC, so all the updates are a little bit behind on console, just something to know about. But the developers have said that they're going to release, $750, even better. It's a great price for this game. I mean, myself, I probably have, hell, 200-300 hours in it. That's a ton of runs. So I'm doing decent on this run. It's not great. I would have liked another room clearer. And you'll get to know good room clears and bad room clears relatively quickly. A good room clear is going to take out your enemies quick. So if something one-shots enemies, if something can kind of deal a lot of damage quickly, those are the guns you want to use on room clears. Or if something has a big status effect, so it poisons, or it... or it has, I don't know, even something to a fire effect where it's going to affect a lot of enemies at once. That's what you want to use as a room clear. Your big damaging weapons, try to save for the boss. Ooh, and give me 1 sec, guys. Gotta take a call real quick. So sorry about that, guys. Had to run and check on something. Dr. Seuss, yeah, you do keep your guns. You can throw them away. If I remember how to throw them away. Don't do it often. Nope, that's to throw the passive away. So it's got to be one of these buttons. Down, maybe? Yeah, but you can keep everything on you. And as you're kind of cycling through, if you're in a fight with enemies around you, it won't go to an empty gun. So if you're on your marine sidearm and there's enemies here, it'll automatically switch to the next gun that has ammo. So you don't have to worry so much about, you know, trying to switch through 10, 15 guns in the middle of a fight. You can go to the very next one that has ammo in it. And this one's Demon Head. Ah, I finally got hit there. So we lost our glass Quan stones that we were trying to hang on to. Demon Head, like I said, it's a laser-based weapon, which is a little different. We're going to use that to clear the room, though. Oh, hello, pal. Oh, don't blow up, don't blow up. Damn, ideally you want to get those guys a little bit closer before they hit that barrel. Like I said, as you play it more, you'll kind of learn some of the rooms. It's a terrible roll. Never roll towards your enemy. Always roll away or to the side if you have to roll. Like I said, try to avoid rolling if all possible. That probably takes the most time, because just instincts tell you to roll through things. But if you can just kind of dodge it and avoid it, that's really going to be helpful. Rooms like this are actually pretty easy. Just circle around. That big guy in the middle, that's death. And you actually can't kill him. There's a way to turn him into a chicken, but you cannot kill him. And he'll just show up kind of randomly in rooms. There's something we really haven't talked about is curse. There's a type of curse in this game and a type of luck in this game. So the more curse you have, the more often death shows up. And if you get to a certain level of curse, which I think it's 10, 12-ish? I think it's 10. Death will actually follow you on every single floor you're in. Yeah, chicks. You can turn people into chickens. It's kind of awesome. If we can get one of the guns, we'll definitely use it. Witch pistol, hexagon, both of those will turn them into chickens. And there's also a chicken, more of a passive, I guess is what I call it. And that's awesome. Oh, shoot, hello. Did not see you, enemy. And there is contact damage on this, so I'm not quite sure why I didn't take damage there, but I'm not going to complain about it. Where you'll have a little chicken that follows you around, and if it takes enough damage, a swarm of chickens comes to help you. It's really a sight to see. So if we can get any of those weapons or those passes, we'll definitely use them and show them off on stream. Oh, this is unfortunate. So something you'll learn in this game, takes time with playing and kind of knowing the maps, is how bosses spawn. So on Chamber 4, there's three bosses. There's the wall, there's the kill pillars, and then there's the damn, the one we're gonna get here. Yeah, god damn it, the High Priest. I knew it was the High Priest, because the High Priest can only spawn if the entrance to the room is facing up. That's the only way he spawns, just because of how his room's set up. And he is one of the hardest bosses in the game. Some of his stuff's not exactly fair. Yeah. Oh, I'm out of ammo. Did not. Oh, thank you. Thank you, Skull Splitter. The Skull Splitter is nice because it kind of tracks down the enemy. Oh, I should not have used that blank that early. I'm going to need it. Yeah, yeah. High Priest, yeah. He's a pain. Mainly for this attack. This is one of the terrible attacks. So if you kind of dodge through all of this, and he's going to disappear. I don't know why I kept shooting there, just wasted ammo. Gotta dodge all this, dodge all this, dodge all this. Ooh, actually did a very good job of dodging all that. Normally I don't. Where'd you go? Oh, you're up here. You can see some of the shots coming in from the side. That's one of the main reasons people hate this boss. Oh, gotta roll, gotta roll, gotta roll, gotta roll. Roll. So he has shots that come out of the wall that he doesn't shoot, so you actually never see him coming. Can I flawless him? Ooh, just flawless the High Priest. Okay. Was not expecting to do that. Ooh, and we got a good gun too. Shock rifle's really good. One of my favorite room clears. Oh, hello. So this will happen on occasion. Be aware of it. It's kind of rare, but rooms can spawn after you fight the boss. They're always a special room of some type, so it's always worth saving a key or saving some money until the very end of the floor. That's why you won't often see me buy anything until I've beaten the boss, or I've at least attempted the boss. Oh, okay, bloody 9mm, that's good. So what bloody 9mm does, let's see if we can get to activate here. Yeah, there it goes. Occasionally you'll just replace one of your shots, and that 9mm will zoom around the whole room, damaging all the enemies. It's decent. There's drawbacks to it, because if you don't want that shot, if you have a powerful weapon, it replaces it. Ooh, okay. Gun Knight Greaves, so you get armor every floor. That's just an extra armor every floor. Now we only have one key. There's 2 chests on the next floor, and we're not really that prepared for the next floor. So I think what we're gonna do, because I know how expensive things are on the last floor, we're gonna save up our money. We have decent health, we have decent guns. We really need to drop some ammo eventually. But I think we're just gonna power through to the 5th floor. So like I said, there's 5 floors on every round. The 5th floor, you fight the dragon. There's only one boss on the 5th floor. Every other floor, so 1 through 4, has 3 different bosses. 3 different bosses, and then there's the, oh, what's he called? The little skull guy. Doorlord. Doorlord is what he's called. And he's kind of a random boss that appears on occasion. So shock rifle, one of the reasons I really like it. Good clip size, does good damage. Pretty accurate at long range. So I don't have to get close to enemies. Oh, there's bloody 9mm. That's another thing, as you play more and kind of know your enemies more. I don't understand. Oh, okay. I was about to say, I don't understand why people hate this room. I rarely take damage, and then I instantly take damage. And I fell off the side. Lovely. If you ever see those guys with the books, kill them as quickly as you can. Because they summon those little guys who throws more shots at you. The dangerous part is that those little guys can teleport behind you. And you'll just never see them coming, and you'll take instant damage from them. If you can kill them first, kill them first. And I'm just taking damage here. I'm just not killing enemies quick enough. Ah, damn. I'm just taking way too much damage here. My shots are off. I don't know what's going on. There we go. There we go. Okay, got a blank. That's good. Oh. See, this is a secret room. So if you take damage while you have armor, it uses essentially a blank. So it clears out some shots so you don't take more damage. But it can also open secret rooms like that one. So, it wasn't a great secret room. It's the only one we found this round. It happens. There's not great secret rooms. There's some really good ones where you can get like 3-4 chests in them. And then there's really bad ones where it's just like half a heart. Always try to look for them, but don't prioritize them. So, if you find one, great. But prioritize your health more. And I'm not prioritizing my health at all here. I've taken just way too much damage. This kind of shows you how quickly this game can turn. How a single run can turn. Like, we were doing just fine coming into this floor, and then just have gotten some bad breaks on dodging. It's really hurt us. There we go. Let's try to take these guys out here. Not too bad, not too bad. Do a little quick dodges. 39mm, not really what I wanted there. And now every floor you don't have to explore every room. Like if you just want to go straight for the boss on every floor, you can. The game kind of lets you do that. It's kind of more beneficial to clear out every room. It's a risk-reward system is really what it is. If you go to every room, you can potentially take more damage. But you can also potentially get more chests to drop, you can get more money to buy better weapons in shops. So it's a balance. It's, do I want to clear every room and get a lot more money? Or do I want to run straight to the boss and just kind of hope for the best? Now this is the Forge lady. This is, the 5th floor is called the Forge. Now her shop's different. Her shop always just has 6 random things in it. the shell, which is an okay gun. It's a shotgun shell that shoots shotguns, that shoot bullets. We may come back for it. The KC, which is one of the very, very few melee weapons in the game. Downside to melee weapons is you're getting up close and personal with every enemy. And then the wind-up gun. The wind-up gun's okay. It's a brown tier. It's fine on early floors. She does have 2 keys, which we may come back for 1. But let's try to find at least one of the chests here. Oh, I'm taking way too much damage. I'm gonna switch to Skull Splitter here just to get out of the room a little bit faster. I know we can do this room with the starting pistol, but I want to get out of it. We've already taken more damage than we should have on this floor. So we're down to just the sidearm and that, right? Yeah, that's a bit rough. I'm gonna have to use that ammo drop soon. These guys, it's very simple. Get behind something, because he'll throw his arm at him. And then he's just there. You're blocked out from all the shots, and you can kind of do whatever you need to take him out. 2 veterans are pretty easy to take out when they're together like that. Stand still, shoot him down. Oh no, you don't be summoning that. Don't be summoning that on me. And those guys will chase you down, and they're actually pretty quick. Oh, it's just a bad spot to be in. Backed myself into a corner there. And we are just straight out of ammo on everything. That's not good. And we don't know what our chests are going to be yet, so I don't want to use our ammo just yet, in case we get kind of screwed over on our chests. I want to have the ability to use our ammo on a gun we already have. Something like Eye of the Beholster is decent against the dragon. Really just depends on what you have on hand. I'm burning through ammo rather quickly. Oh, that's okay. I don't really need the key, but I'm going after him just out of habit. So if you don't shoot him before he disappears, you just straight lose that option to get that key. If he doesn't attack you, he just straight runs away. So it's kind of a risk reward. Do you prioritize him for a key, or do you just leave him be and kind of hope that you get enough keys on the floor to unlock all the chests? Oh, these guys take so long with just a starting pistol. These guys, honestly, you just stay away from them. They don't shoot at you, they just spin their little ball and chain around. They do some damage, but they're pretty easy to avoid. They are a second version of the gun. Oh, and there is our ammo. So what I'm going to do, I'm actually going to put it in the shock rifle. Reason doing is that we still have rooms to clear. I need a good room clearer, and I can use the Marine's actual passive to fill up a boss weapon when we need it. It's a blue chest. We only have 1 key, so if we can avoid buying keys, we will. Let's see what we can get down here. Another reason to kind of wait to unlock all your chests is because let's say we use the key there and the forged lady didn't have any keys, and then we run up against the black chest or red chest. Then we're just screwed out of that high level chest, and we don't get it at all. We just have to try to break it open. And more often than not, you break open a high level chest, you're not getting anything. You're not even going to get junk. You're just going to get just nothing out of it. It's just going to explode. That little dude will try to run for us, and he'll just dissolve himself out. Just helpful. Let's roll through here. And we'll dodge in here and here. There we go. Not too bad. Easy room to clear. Shoot you down as quick as I can. So there's different types of summoners, obviously. There's that one who throws out big waves. There's the blue one who spawns the little guys that follow you around. And then the red one, who we haven't really seen in action yet, he'll absorb your shots. So if you shoot at him, he absorbs it, and he throws it right back at you. So that's the entrance to Dragon. We have 2 blue chests. We might as well open both. Let's see what we get in here. First chest is remote bullets. Oh, remote bullets is the best accuracy up in the game. It's the best. Your bullets go where you point them. And if you have a gun that, let's say, the Marine sidearm, you can actually control your bullets. You can get really good with it and really... Oh, I'm out of keys, right? You can just take out every enemy at distance. And buy the key. We're going to go open this up. Triple crossbow's not great. Just in general, it's not great. The first 3 shots are slow the enemy, and then the next 3 are like a scatter shot. So for the sake of having another gun, we're going to get the shell, and we'll start out the dragon with the shell. And then we will, let's see what we have. Yeah, and then we'll use our ammo drop on the beholster. So dragon, ideally, 2 powerful weapons will take him out. But he has some of the most health in the game. Just kind of be prepared, have a lot of ammo on you, have a lot of guns on you. Upside to having multiple weapons. Dragon, you don't really have to concern yourself with aiming. We're in a bad spot. Because almost every gun's going to hit him. There's very few guns that have that big of a spread that they're going to miss him. This is a shotgun shell that shoots shotguns. And then when it hits something, it shoots out all the bullets of the shotgun. This is super good with remote bullets because I can direct all the shots. Little tip when he throws out the knives, try to blank. If you can blank at the right time, you'll actually destroy both knives as they come out, so you don't even have to worry about it. And that's basically just destroying 2 more enemies that you don't have to deal with. That make this fight even harder. We're actually doing relatively well here. Heavy bullets is helping. It's one of those passives that you don't notice until you notice it. And then the second wave, you just have to time your rolls through the little gaps. Ooh, I was a little off on that one. Got a little bit lucky. And go through, and then he explodes his heart, and you just take out the heart as quickly as you can. So either you want something that hits hard or something that hits fast. So you want to do as few of these cycles as possible. Doing it in 2 is about normal. 2 to 3, depending on your weapon setup. There's very few guns and passives that let you do it in 1. It is possible to do it in 1, believe me. Anything more than 3 though, it's just you weren't really prepared for it. Like you didn't have a good set of guns, or you didn't have enough ammo in something. So, like I said, it's not too difficult. And that is a run. Now, as you'll see coming up, especially if you first start the game, this is going to be covered up. So this is going to just look like a 6-shot chamber, and you have to defeat all of their past first, because each character has a past they want to defeat before you can go in there. And then there is Bullet Hell, which is the 6th floor, and you fight the Lich. Now, that is by far the hardest floor in the game. One of the hardest bosses in the game is the final boss, the Lich itself, because it has 3 different stages. So unless you are prepared with a big loadout and a lot of health, you're going to die real quick. Because it's like most of these where it randomizes the floor, but there's no shop. There's no, secret rooms minus potentially 1. And at that, that's just going to be a gun muncher. I guess I should have let the credits play there since it's our first go through of it. That's alright though. So that's a Marine run. Now, I made that look kind of easy. Took a lot of damage on the 5th floor. And then it shows you who you beat it with, how many enemies you killed, how long it took you, and then what your actives and passives were. Actually did pretty good. I only missed the 1st floor boss's master chamber. And I did it with a relatively weak weapon set. Shock rifle helped late. The shell took down the boss pretty easily. But let's jump into a run as, I believe, the pilot's next in line, who has the worst starting pistol and probably one of the worst starting active or passives. That's the pilot. So base game, you start out with the Marine, the pilot, the convict, and the hunter. And then through playing, you can unlock the robot and the bullet. The bullet's actually really fun and interesting, and they both pose a different challenge. I'm going to do a pilot run here. And we'll show you kind of why the pilot's considered one of the worst starting characters. I don't think he's necessarily as bad as people say he is, but he's not real good either. Like, I would take every other starting character over the pilot. He's just difficult to play. First off, his gun doesn't hold a lot of ammo, and you can't really tell here, but it's super inaccurate. You can almost see the spread. I'm holding it directly sideways, and they're bouncing around. And then his pass is active, actually, is lockpick. So you have a 50-50 chance to lockpick chests or doors. 50-50 is about right. I've seen some streamers or some people play this game who say it's more like a 30% chance. For the most part, it works out to about 50% of the time your lockpick works. It may not seem like it. You may get a run where his lockpick does absolutely nothing for you, but it's a way to kind of cheat out having a lot of keys. So if you don't have a lot of keys, you can do a pilot run and try to hope for the best. There are runs where you just do lockpick only runs, so you can pick up keys, but you only use the lockpick to get chests. Those runs are actually really interesting to do. Oh, there's a key. I want the key. Come here, key man. Need to hurry because he's going to throw out his chain, and I want to be out of the way of it. Get you down here. There we go. So those little kind of purple looking dudes, that's all they really do is they float towards you. Oh, and I went right into the key. Wasn't trying to do it, I just forgot it was there. Now let's say that one hit me. That one's not a damaging one, so it'll just hit me and it'll bump me. But there's some that light up when they fly, and those will do damage to you. It's kind of nice to know which one's which. You don't want to get hit regardless, but if you want to get hit by the one that's not doing damage as compared to the one that does do damage. Good, we'll get a shop early. And we'll see if the case about the key shows up in the shop. Yeah. Oh no. And see, this will happen. We picked up a key, and there's 2 keys in the shop. Shop is randomized, so it's not always the case if you pick up a key. Now this crate's super interesting. So you can drop weapons or anything that's in your inventory here down this grate, and it'll give you money back based on what level it was. So like if it's a brown level weapon, he'll give you, I don't know, maybe 10-15 coins. If it's a black tier weapon, he'll give you 40-50 coins. So it's a way to get a lot of money really early if you get one early, and you just don't get a weapon that you like or something that fits your playstyle. There's a lot of guns I'll give it, just there's guns I don't like in this game. It's not for the fact that they're bad, it's just my playstyle, they're not great. Something like the bullet gun, it's just like the shell gun except it shoots handguns instead of shotguns. That one I usually give it. It's not a gun that's going to do a lot for me. I'd rather use the base pistol on most occasions with it. That being said, I have been saved by the bullet and I have been saved by the shell before. Just as my backup gun. So we are actually in the fireplace room, so if you kick the barrel, you stop it. Oh, didn't kick it far enough. That'll work. And then kick it in there. You can actually go in the fireplace. And you just hit X, and it opens up a secret room. So that's the secret room. And we'll go in it real quick. We want to finish out the floor though. And this is what it is. You need 2 keys to go down, and then that grate opens and it drops you down to the secret ouplet room. So if we get enough keys, we'll actually go down there on this run. Let's see what we can do here. So let's see here, let's see what we got. Shotgun easy enough to dodge. And really, as you get better at this game, as you kind of play more, early in the game you're going to take damage on these first few floors. It's just what happens until you get used to things. But like me, I always aim for no damage before floor 4. So, if I can get to floor 4 without taking any damage, I'm having a pretty good run. That's why that last run, even though we got through it relatively quickly, we beat the High Priest without taking any damage, we got right through Dragon. That's why I didn't consider that a great run. We took damage early. Made me play a little better, made me focus a little more on the game by doing that, but you know, ideally that's what you want to aim for. Don't take damage at all, but If you cannot take damage in the first 3 floors, you'll be doing pretty well. Why with the brown chest today? So that brown chest, we're actually going to come back and try to lockpick. We'll see if we get something out of it, great. Now if your lockpick fails, your chest is just gone. It's locked for good, so let's say you try to lockpick and then use a key on it, it's not going to work. It permanently breaks that chest or that door. So it's something to think about. Let's see, there's the boss. Let's see, what was our other chest? Oh, it's a blue chest, right? So I'm going to actually break my rule of not opening chests until after the boss, only when I'm playing as this character. That's zombie bullets, that's okay. What do you have? Oh, you don't have anything that's helpful. Reason being, bosses are very hard to kill with the stunning pistol. With the pilot. I mean, very hard to kill. So, almost any gun. Ah, Winchester's good. I like the Winchester. Minus the pea shooter and probably the Derringer are better than this gun. Oh, and we get a different boss too. The Bullet King. And I know I've skipped some of their intros. My bad. Habit for me. Previous floors, or next floors I will stop and let them show off their intro. Since this may be going to newer streamers, newer players, we will show off the unique animations and epic damage, and I used the burn to blank there. So that's ideally what you don't want to do. You don't want to take damage and lose a blank at the same time. That's just poor timing on my part. Winchester's one of the better brown chair weapons in the game. This and the sling. There's a few other ones. But for the most part, those are the 2 brown chair weapons you want to look out for. The mailbox is okay. The letter R is okay. Ooh, and I'm just taking damage left and right here. Not what we want to do. Okay, so not too bad. Got it a bit without taking a ton of damage. I saw there was ammo here, that's why I just burned some shots. The Commando is a great boss weapon. Basically, the Commando, it is what it looks like. It's a 4-shot rocket launcher that just blows away everything. So we picked up a key, and we have a lot of money. So what we're gonna do, take this key. Yeah, we'll keep, you know. So you can go here. I am actually going to drop zombie bullets. They're not great. So I'll get 21 coins from that. It's worth it to me to get those 21 coins. Where was there it is. And we are actually going to go down to the oubliette. We have enough keys. And boom. So ideally going into the floor, the minimum amount of keys you want to have is 1. You always want to carry 1 key with you. Reason being is you can run into lock shops and then you're just completely out of luck. If you hit a lock shop and you're out of keys, well, there goes your chance to get into that shop. If you always have 1, even if the shop's locked, you can get through. So give me 1 sec, guys. Alright, sorry about that, guys. Normally the phone doesn't ring this much this time of night. So this is the oubliette chamber question mark. Kind of a secret room. There's a lot of things about this room too. So the guy I just killed first, the little Poupulon, always kill him first. Reason being is he spins and all of his bullets that he shoots out spin as well. So it makes it really hard to get that timing down. Especially when his bullets are spinning, but these guys are coming straight for you. It just makes it really difficult to dodge. Ooh, and that's the poison shotgunner. Let's the mushroom dude, I don't remember his actual name, but he does a spread shot of 2 shots, so if you just stand right in front of him, he'll never hit you. He's kind of based around you moving around a lot. That's how he kind of hits you with damage. Oh, this is fun. And now, see how those guys are kind of spitting out poison? Enemy poison, enemy fire affects enemies. So, if there's poison on the ground or there's fire on the ground, it'll affect enemies. Now, certain enemies, like these little slime guys here, are obviously immune to poison because they are poison. Flame enemies are immune to flame. Something to think about if you have certain guns. Ideally, when you go into a room though, try to prioritize your toughest target first. So you'll see me try to take out the guys who are doing a lot of shots first, or veterans who I just saw up there who I didn't see before, because they're going to make your life a little bit difficult when it comes to getting around rooms. This is super poor dodging on my part. Yeah, bound to take some damage there. Never do what I just did. Always try to stay in somewhere where you have some room to move. I backed myself into a corner there, which is never what you want to do. This makes it really hard. Your margin for error goes way down. These guys are easy enough as I get hit by his bullet. See, I just shouldn't say anything about enemies. As soon as I say something, they hit me. That's alright though. 99 into this shop's decent. Snowballer's pretty good. That's one of the better bronze tier, or I keep saying bronze, brown tier weapons. Iron Coin's not great. Iron Coin actually has a couple abilities in it. So if you hold it, it gives you a discount at shops. But you can also flip it 3 times and it'll clear 3 random rooms on that floor. Which isn't great. You kind of want to clear the rooms. It'll help you get better at the game. But if you're in a tough spot where you're running low on ammo and you have it, go ahead and use it. It'll help clear out some rooms. But kind of be wary though of something we haven't talked about, which is a good time to talk about because something just popped up. So let's say I leave this here and I go to a different room. There's a little rat that comes around and steals things that you've left behind. So if you use that iron coin to clear out a room, the rat will just steal whatever's in it because you won't get there quick enough. Loot here. That's locked, so I'm not going to deal with that right now. We'll come back to that at the end of the floor. We'll see where we are with keys. And you can't kill the rat, you can't get that item back, it's just gone. Those are the mini mushroom. Oh, these are my least favorite enemy in the game, or those spinning guys. Reason being is, in general, I don't like enemies that are invulnerable. These guys are invulnerable when they close, so that's the main reason I don't like them. They're easy to take out, they only take a couple shots with most guns. But it's just one of those things where invulnerable when it's not a boss or it's not a special enemy kind of annoys me. But it's a small thing. It's a small... Everybody has one enemy they don't like. These guys are easy enough. Zoom around them. Shoot the little square. My timing was off. Let's see. Okay, let's see if we can get through. There we go. Here we go. And those guys are down. Not too bad, not too bad. Take you out, take the grenades out. There we go, and kind of banked that grenade off the barrel, so it took out the enemy for us. One of the main reasons this Winchester's good though, is because it's pretty damn accurate. There's a lot of guns that are powerful, but they're inaccurate as all hell. And then there's a lot of guns that are real accurate, but they don't give you a lot of ammo for them. Winchester's just kind of all around, does okay damage, and is real accurate. Oh, take it this way. So it's something to think about when you're picking out a gun or deciding, okay, do I open this gun or do I pay for this weapon, that sort of thing. And you'll learn the weapons as you go. There's some favorites like the Heroine, the Mega Hand, that are kind of universally loved. And then there's weapons that, like the Beehive. The Beehive is one of my favorite weapons. It's just, it's unique, it's something different. It's not a weapon you see all that often. And basically what you do is you hold a beehive and you shake it around, and bees fly everywhere and attack your enemies. So it's a nice little animation to see. Now this game is just chocked full of references to other games. Especially kind of old classic Nintendo games. That's why I'm real happy this is on the Switch now. Because a lot of this stuff is based off Nintendo. I'm just getting hit left and right. Because there's the Duck Hunt gun, there's the Mario Shell gun, there's obviously the sword from Link, there's Link himself. So there's quite a bit of just Nintendo references, but then also pop culture references in it. So like the Doom gun is in here. They call it the BSG in this one, the big shooty gun, instead of the BFG. Winchester is also obviously based off of an old Winchester rifle from cowboy movies and westerns. And then there's just unique guns, like the letter R that'll actually spell out bullet every time you use it, which for somebody who's played this game a lot can get real annoying real quick, but it's a fun little weapon to play with. Green chest, not too bad. Where was our blue in shop? So we'll take... Okay, yeah, we'll show what the commando can do. So the Ooblet boss, this is the one of 2 bosses in the game that you don't get a master round from. So it's just a giant version of those blob things we've been facing all game. It's the Blobblue Lord. Well, 4-star general, you are no match for my commando. I'll tell you that much. So knowing that this boss doesn't give out master rounds, so if you take damage on this boss, don't worry about it. You obviously don't want to take damage when you're fighting bosses, but you're not losing out on anything on this boss in particular if you do take damage. Other than, you know, the obvious health. Blank here, get out of this corner. Commando's just going to make quick work of it. Only downside to the commando though is it does run out of ammo relatively quickly. The one downside to it. It's a great boss clear, don't get me wrong. That's the Void Core. It's a fine weapon. It's not great, it's not terrible. It's just kind of an okay weapon. I want to say it's in blue tier, I think is where it is. Oh, and there's the heroine. So this is obviously the Samus gun. Charge up your shots, and boom, it shoots out a big blast like Samus does in all of her games. Well, and I guess all their Smash Brothers games as well. So buy the key. Actually gonna leave the iron coin. We have enough money, I think we can get away with things. So we're gonna go up here, we're gonna actually open this chest and try our lockpicks on that door. So if we can get a free armor piece from that room would be great. If not, it's not a biggie. Let's open this up with our key. The Pip-Boy. Not great. So what the Pip-Boy does, it explodes anything that's on the room as soon as you walk in. So you walk in, you use it, and it blows up all the barrels. Not great. The trusty trusty lockpicks works. Good. So this gives you armor. It's called the Old Crest. But what it actually does is something completely different. Let's see if we can get there and show it. So you can only get the Old Crest if you come down to the Ooblet. It's the only way to get it. Now, going back to the second floor, which is what we're about to do. So you go first floor, then you go to Ooblet, and then it kicks you back to the second floor. It's kind of weird, I know, because the Ooblet's actually harder than the second floor, but just how the game works. Let's see if I'm good enough to get the Old Crest to the little altar. So we saw a glimpse of the altar in the last run, just a real quick glimpse. And we're actually going to use the Void Core to try to get there. And it is a kind of triple shot. Some of the downsides to it. If it was kind of just automatic, I think it'd be a little bit better. but it being this triple shot kind of hurts it a bit. Ooh, that's obviously going in the commando. We need that as our boss killer. Let's see. So this little guy, that little round dude who flies around, that's one of the enemies that's pure fire, so if it bumps into you it'll do damage, but he's also immune to damage. From fire, at least. Crestfaller's really good, and that's actually really cheap for Crestfaller too. 46 is decent. Let's try. We could take it on, actually, if we can get there. I know I'm keeping it kind of a secret of what the old crest is for, but it's something you just kind of have to experience. And if we get there, we get there. If we don't, it'll be most runs. Oh, okay. But if you take any damage, you lose the old crest. So it actually goes in front of your armor. So it's something to think about if you're taking the old crest. Is yes, it's armor, but you can't protect it. So as soon as you take damage, it's gone. Let's see, so we're doing pretty well so far. Normally I wouldn't be using the Void Core here, I'd be saving it. Probably be using the Winchester. There we go. This is the altar room. So normally if you don't have the old crest, this is just a room. It doesn't do anything. But if you have the old crest, place the crest upon the altar, and it opens up a secret floor. So we're going to try to get as strong as we can before we go there, because I know what's in that secret floor, and that's, again, one of the hardest levels in the game. Not but this nail gun. So this is the king, and the king has challenges. So I accept his challenge, I give him 18, and now I have to clear this next room with the nail gun. All his challenges are different. This one's actually relatively easy. He actually gives you a decent gun. Sometimes he gives you like the KC where it's all straight melee damage. And you can end up taking a lot of damage in these challenges. And then again, there's some challenges where it's just take no damage in that room. So we're going to take him out. We're going to take this guy out. We're going to take him out. Of course it's a veteran. Now if you fail a king's challenge, you lose all your money that you paid for that challenge for. So this one, if we failed it, I would lose the 18. I don't plan on failing this though. Oh, there's the secret room. That worked out just fine, I guess. Come towards me. We're actually going to go here first. Get the armor. And I'm going to wait, because we need to get as powerful as we can if we're going to that secret room. So I'm going to wait on all the chests. I'm going to wait on turning in the Old King's challenge. I'm going to wait on that secret room chest that we unlocked. Wait on everything. Reason being, I'm trying to get a decent weapon from the boss, because we're going to need it. So we're going to go and try that extra floor. We've actually gotten pretty lucky in seeing both extra floors this run. So if we can keep it up and get something decent, we'll be doing alright. So far it's actually been a pretty well put together run. There we go. Dodge all these shots. Like I said, the Void Core's an okay gun. It's not great, especially late game. I mean, late game you want to be one-shotting those guys. That's ideal. Let's see what we got here. Okay, just a couple shotgunners. It's not bad. Roll through them pretty easily. Take you out so I don't have to come back this way. And that's another thing you'll get, like, once you do the rolls enough, you kind of know your roll distance and how far you need to go. And we'll refill this actually. We've been to our shops, we'll take the key. So you can roll across those gaps like that. It does kind of a brief introduction when you first start. I think you can go back and replay it anytime. It's just a real basic introduction of how to roll, how to shoot, how to pick up items, use actives and passives, that sort of thing. Getting there, there we go, take this guy out. You should only have a couple more rooms on this floor. And then the higher you go in the levels, so like floor 3 will have more rooms than floor 2, and it just keeps building. So every floor is going to have more and more and more floors. It's one of the reasons why bullet hell's one of the hardest levels in the game. So there's a ton of rooms in it. And we got the Gorgon again. So we'll actually let her intro play this time. Boom. Accursed Gunwitch, the Gorgon. I actually really like the art in this game too. And it's serious and cute at the same time, which I like. Commando's not great against her, but it's really good because it clears out all the shots. So I guess it's something we haven't really talked about in this session yet, is that explosions clear out bullets. So if you have an explosive round and it hits an enemy or hits a wall, it'll clear out all the immediate bullets around it. So that's why having guns that are explosive against bosses are actually really good, because it clears out all their shots. So it was easy. Oh, hello, gold gun. The AU gun, the golden gun. Obviously a take on old 007 golden gun. Now the general rule for Gungeon, the very general rule, is the fewer shots a gun has, the more powerful it is. It's not always the case, but it's often the case. Oh, just a heart. It's really hoping for a weapon or some sort of active or passive there. So if you find a gun like the makeshift cannon that has one shot, you know it's going to be powerful. Why? Why must you give me this? I'm going to take it. This is the Lament Configurum. Take on the old like Hellraiser mystery box thing. So you hit it, it spawns enemies, but then it has a chance to spawn weapons, actives, passives, has a chance to spawn just about anything, but it also spawns enemies, so that's the downside to it. And then it just, your actives and passives just recharge over time. Go here. Okay, Hegemony Carbine's a good gun, good just kind of base weapon. This chest though I am going to use the lockpicks on. It's an active or passive that's brown. We already have one that we want. Yeah. And that's what happens when your lockpicks don't work. So we're just going to destroy the chest here. Always destroy the chest. If your lockpick doesn't work, there's a chance it can give you a piece of armor, it can give you some ammo. We're going to take the key, we're going to take the Crestfaller. And, oh, King's Challenge, right. So we did that. Where is, oh there it is. This is the room I'm looking for. So this is going to be difficult. We have a decent setup to do it though. Did the shop have ammo? The shop has ammo, I have to buy it. It did, okay. It does have ammo. So the floor we're going to is very difficult. Yeah, it's just very difficult. No other way to put it. And I can't for the life of me remember what it's called, so let's see what it's called when it pops up. Let's see. Come on now. Come on, system. There we go. Abbey of the True Gun. That's what it's called. So for this, we are going to use the heroin. The heroin's real good. Keep it charged up. Never kind of single shot it unless you have it charged up, because that's just like a pea shooter shot, does no damage. If it's charged up, it'll take out most enemies in one shot. Your elites, so your gun knights, your Iron Maidens, that sort of thing, it won't kill in one shot. Even some kind of later shotgunners it won't kill. There we go. These guys I didn't really need to use the shot on, but I already had it loaded, so I might as well. Nice thing about the heroin, and why it kind of is a staple of, of people who do a lot of runs and a gun you always want to get, because it has a lot of ammo, it does a lot of damage, and it can kind of carry you through rooms. And it's one of the few guns in the game that can be used as a room clear or a boss weapon. So you can use it to clear all these rooms. And we have our first jammed enemy. So jammed enemies will glow red like this one is. They will do a full heart of damage instead of half a heart. And they have more health. So normally one shot would have killed a normal bulletkin. These guys take 2, I believe, maybe 3? 2. So in some cases they double the health of enemies. So in general, you don't want to fight cursed enemies. You really don't. See, this is one of the rooms where it's the downside to have the heroine, because it's single shot, so kind of have to be patient to take out all these enemies. Something with a wider spread would take them out a little bit quicker. But this does well. These guys, they're quick and they roll everywhere, so just be wary of that. This little green summoner will summon a copy of himself that shoots out bullets. Relatively easy, but when you're fighting 4 or 5 other enemies, you don't want to forget about him, so he'll sneak up on you. Now you saw me switch off as soon as I saw this room went dark. So if you ever have a room that goes completely dark like this, it's a zombie room. So the only thing that's going to spawn in the room is these little zombies. And you don't really want to use a lot of ammo on those guys. They don't take a lot of damage, so use something that you can get away with relatively quickly. Okay, it's the blue chest. So we will open all the chests on this floor before we fight the boss. You want to be as powerful as you can before you fight this boss. Because the old king, he has as much health as the final boss in the game does. So if you're not ready, that's why I ammoed up on everything before I even came down here. Made sure I had a chance. Blast helmet, it's not good. Don't buy it. Don't use it. Sell it if you can. Now these guys are interesting. These are one of the few enemies that just absorb damage. So he absorbs damage, he gets bigger, he'll absorb damage again, and then he bursts and shoots bullets everywhere. Normally you don't see him till later levels. Kind of the hard part about this floor is that you get late level bosses right after the second floor. So if you're not prepared for it, you're going to take quite a bit of damage here. Let's see. Ooh, almost got hit there. Now this run's going actually pretty well on my dodges and my rolls. I'm getting the timing back. Oh, that's not. So ideally, if you have a cursed enemy in the room, you want something like this. You want somebody whose patterns are easily avoidable, who an upgrade to speed's not going to do anything to, and somebody who you can just kind of lay in shots into. Now the one thing I'm not using, which I just realized I should be using, and I'll show you guys here in one sec why. Just clear out this enemy here. I'll show you the one thing I'm not using. Oh, and he ran into me. So normally, cursed enemies deal a full heart of damage when they hit you. Unless you have armor. Then it just takes off the 1 armor. So what I wasn't using was the Lawment Configure them. So see, it dropped the Trident. So it dropped us an extra gun that we can now use. Only downside though, is because it came from the Configure, it's now a cursed weapon. Regardless of what it is, it's a cursed weapon. But a little curse is never that bad. You actually want a little bit of curse, because cursed enemies drop more ammo. So more cursed enemies you have, more money you can get. Yes, harder the game is, but it's that risk-reward system. Let's see, there's the entrance to the boss. And I'm definitely going to clear the floor before we get there. These guys are pretty easy to take out. Just bam, bam. See what I'm saying about the heroine just being super good? I mean, it's taking out the shotgunners with 1 shot. They're kind of nothing to this gun. These guys, pretty easy to avoid. Just hit them once, walk around them, hit them again. Just keep moving, and keep moving. go, just make them burst. So we have 3 blanks, which isn't too bad. Okay. Now, enemies typically attack you right away as soon as you enter a room. There are instances where the game just kind of freaks out and the enemies just stand there. It doesn't happen that often, but it's just the game freaking out. The enemy's not realizing you're there yet. So that is the floor, right? Yes, that is the floor. So open up green. No. No, 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 no. No. I'm gonna say it again. No, 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 no. This is the red bandana. I'll show you what it does. We're not gonna... Or bloody scarf. Sorry, bloody scarf. Not red bandana. Reason I say no to this. If you have the bloody scarf, you cannot dodge roll. It teleports you instead. Which seems good, right? You can teleport around everywhere, this and that. Well, when you teleport, you're not invulnerable. If you roll, you're invulnerable. So if you roll, you're invulnerable to those bullets. If you teleport, you're not. So if you teleport into a bullet, you're getting hit. If you roll into a bullet, though, and you dodge it, you're not going to get hit by it. So if I can avoid that, I guess you can call it an active and a passive. It's a bit of both. That's a Winchester. That's a fair gun. So we are going to start out with Commando, and then we're going to go to the golden gun. Okay. Boss who we're waiting for. This is the Old King. So to take on the very first boss of the game, but Eternal Warrior Old King. So he has some of the hardest attacks to dodge in the game. There's just a randomness to him. And most players don't face him enough. See, like that. And that one. So he's a take on some of the same attacks from the Bullet King that you face on the first floor, except they're a little altered. They're a little bit harder to dodge, they're a little bit harder to see coming. That's the ideal attack you want him to do a lot, so you can just kind of stay back, throw damage into him. That's not an attack you want to see often. That's super hard to dodge, it's super quick. Use the gold gun here. Gold gun does good damage. I'm going to use a blank there to get out of this corner. Now fire on the floor, if you step on it, it will set you on fire. But as long as you... Oh, that was quick. But if you remember the old adage of stop, drop, and roll, same theory applies to this game. You can roll off fire, you can roll off poison. Oof. So you figure that took our entire commando and almost our entire golden gun to take out. Ooh, but we do get the bait launcher, which is a good weapon. We do have a blank. So having a blank left over is actually pretty good for us. Use it here, nothing here. It's alright. I believe that's the floor? Oh, we do have health. So health is one of the things the rat won't steal. So you can always go back and pick up health. We actually got through the Abbey relatively undamaged. It was thanks mostly to the heroine, like that saved us most of this round. But normally you take a lot more damage in that floor. So let's see. I'm going to switch off the heroine now. And we'll go back to something that's a little bit weaker. Let's see here. Let's see what we have. So heroine. Yeah, we'll actually go back to the Void Core. We can get away with that on floor 3. So that's one of the reasons you don't see the Old King super often. Because you have to have enough keys to go to the Ooblet, and you have to keep the Old Crest the whole time on the second floor. Both of those things are relatively hard to do. It's a lot of events that have to work out in your favor. in order for you to go there, but we got both to happen, which is always nice. One machine gunner. 2 machine gunners here. So the machine gunners don't get close to them at the very start. They actually shoot a little bit quicker than you think they would most of the time. So if your timing on them is to kind of rush them, get them before they take a shot off, more often than not, you're going to take damage from that. There we go. Quick dodge these guys. Take out the shotgunner, and we're good. Blue chest. Okay. We are out of keys, which is a scary scenario. Special window. Vasquan stones will actually save to the end, like you really should do. We have plenty of health to get through the floors, so that's not something I'm worried about. Those are the double bobble guys. Oh, and I did not see you down there. It's alright, we only lost armor, so that's okay. Enemies will do that too. More often than not, that's why you always want to take a quick look around the room as soon as you enter. See where enemies all are. I just didn't do it there, I didn't see him. This is an interesting enemy. So he actually doesn't attack you till all the other enemies are gone, then he just charges you. But he uses blanks against you. So, oh. Okay, buffer. There we go. So he'll actually blank the area around him, and then they'll absorb all your shots. These 40 dudes are pretty easy to take out. It's easy to take out. So we've gotten some relatively easy rooms so far. Nothing's been super difficult. Let's take these guys out. 1, 2. And those guys, when in their smallest form right there, you can actually roll through them. You'll do just enough damage to kill them. Something to think about if you want to conserve some ammo. We have plenty of guns at this point though, so I'm not real worried about that. Oh, that bounce shot got me again. I can tell I'm out of practice whenever those bounce shots get me. Because they really shouldn't get you. Like, they're easily avoidable, they're slow moving, but sometimes I just forget that they're there. Let's get around you. Take you out. Good. Oh, and see? It just hit me again now. It's that we're not using the llama configure him again. So you can use your active as soon as it's recharged. Kind of a nice little thing to do, because when you kill a boss, if he spawned any minions or anything like that, while you fight him, they all die when the boss dies. It's kind of a cheap way to cheat out a wave of the llama configure him, is to use it at the very end of a boss fight. So you get the benefit from it without actually having to take on the enemies. Or potential benefit, I guess. Sage, take you out. So we'll actually use it again. Nothing this time, just more enemies to fight. Yeah, almost just straight took damage from. Pillars are good, tables are good, but don't depend on them. Like, those shots could have easily curved. Oh, this isn't good. Yeah, that was real bad. I let those guys get on the rail car. I forgot the rail car was in this level. That's real bad on my part. And that is the balance from using the llama, is that sometimes you just take straight damage without any benefit from it. Winchester's a good gun though. It's one of the better shotguns in the game. Good spread, good reload time. Good amount of ammo per clip. Just overall good gun. I wouldn't call it great, but I would call it good. If I saw it in a shop, I'd probably pick it up. Especially early floors, I'd really pick it up. You can use it as a boss weapon on early floors. Probably floor 1 and 2 you could use it on. And then obviously if you're in the oubliette, you could probably use it on the lobby road as well. It does enough damage where you're gonna be okay. Has okay range. Doesn't have great range, obviously it's a shotgun. Meant to kind of use it up close. But it has okay range. There we go, dodge that out. Let's go up in here. Ground chest, not going to worry about. We'll come back to it. Let's go down here. Let's see what we got. So if you're just starting out the game, though, you're going to notice that some of these floors are going to look different. You're going to have rooms where there's going to be no enemies, and there's be maybe a platform or a back area or something that it doesn't seem feasible to get to. There is a way to get to them, though. So you just kind of have to think it through and think about how to get there. I'll leave those surprises to the viewers and new people playing the game, but there is a way to get to all of these things, and there are some things to collect in this game that I've already collected, so they're not appearing anymore, but new players will definitely be on the lookout for them. Case in point of why you should always carry a key. The shop is locked on us. It's okay, it hasn't been a great floor anyway. What we're gonna do, we're gonna go fight the boss first anyway. Get our one stones, yeah, we'll use the bait launcher. We'll save those few shots in the AU gun. Yeah, we'll save those few shots. We'll use the bait launcher so we can see what it does. And this is a cannonball rog. Let him up here and we'll show his little intro. So cannon, guns in the deep, cannonball rog. So it's literally a cannonball that shoots bullets and will roll at you on occasion. Don't do what I just did. Don't back yourself into a corner against him to start. So he gets real aggressive at the start. And yes, I am throwing tigers at him. Well, technically I'm throwing meat at him, and then tigers are coming after the meat. This is one of the reasons I love this game, is that it's so unique in the weapon design that everything's different. Everything kind of plays off it. It's just unique in that way, where other games, they want to have a weapon where you shoot steak and tigers come chasing it and attack the enemy. That's just not something you see in other games. It adds to the charm of this game. We're doing pretty well so far. Excuse me if I don't talk too much during boss fights. That's exactly why. I'm trying to perfect them so we can get some extra health. We're actually relatively low on health. Not bad for fighting the old king, but we're still pretty low from where we need to be. One more should do it. Yep, and we took him out with a steak. So not too bad. And we get some more health and some armor. Oh. Hello, Hexagon. So if you were with us in the stream earlier, you'll know I say you could turn things into chickens. So we're about to see how. That room's locked. That room's locked. Well, we do have the lawment, so we can use the lawment in here. Still didn't get anything from it. It happens. Let's see what we got here. Oh, there you are. And they're taken out. So since we don't have any keys, we're just going to try to lockpick the blue one. I'd rather try to lockpick the blue. If we get it, great. If not, great. That's okay. We will go to our road special. Now, the chest can explode on you, so always kind of stay back on it. It's just junk. We'll see the chest up here. Straight across. I'm actually just destroying both. Hopefully we can get half a heart, maybe a whole heart if we're lucky. Get us some extra health. Roll on up here. So there we go. And destroy that. Just more junk. Okay. Next time use a key. And where is our exit? Oh, there it is. And we will go on to floor 4. Now, we'll actually use the hexagon. I'll try to kind of mix it up with what weapons I'm using just so we can see a variety. Hexagon's one of the better guns. In the game, in my opinion, it can one-shot big heavy enemies. Little enemies it takes out real quick. Let's see here. Send out a quick message. Excuse me. There we go. Alrighty. And let's hexagon up some things. Boom. Boom. See how it turned it into a chicken. And it has great range. Does decent base damage. Not great base damage, but it's relatively decent. Avoided that barely. There we go. It's a single shot, so it does kind of pair well with other things. There we go. Oh, hello. I was wondering where he went. Oh, did not see you there. So I'm going to leave the key for now. You're taken out, you're taken out, you're taken out. There we go. I'd love for you to become a chicken, come on. So if you don't destroy his skull, he'll actually respawn there. And come back, so you just have to keep fighting him. Oh, come on now. So bigger enemies like that, you always want to try to chicken. I mean, it's a random chance, but it seems like it's a higher chance after playing this game a lot that you'll chicken a large enemy and not a small enemy. Just kind of how the game goes on it. Take you out. Take you out. Buff, and I can't get to the buffer because he's on the other side of the floor. So I'll try to just get through you. On your way over there, so I'll just take you out. Good. Okay, chest. Don't mind blue chest. There we go. Take you out. Take you out. There you go. I'm real glad we're getting some hearts to drop. We're getting real low on health, actually. The shield, it's not great. It's really not. Key, we're definitely going to take. Gun Muncher. Yeah, we'll show you how the Gun Muncher works. So we'll put the Winchester in, which is a brown tier. And we'll put the Void Core, which I believe is a blue tier. So it should spit us out a brown tier weapon, maybe a blue. RPG, I think it's actually a green tier weapon. It's one of the weaker green tiers, but I think it's a green tier weapon. Let's go here. Yeah, there we go. So ideally you don't want to use this weapon against zombies. It's just a powerful shot, but kind of backed into a corner here. Yeah, it was kind of bound to happen. But it does go through them, so you can take multiple out at once if you kind of time it right. Let's see what we got here. Take you out. Oh, come on now. There we go. Take you out. There you are. There you are. Oops. Dodge all these shots. Take you out. There we go. Like I said, it's if you can dodge shots rather than shoot them, do that. Yeah. Whew. I actually took an enemy out and chickened an enemy at the same time there. That's kind of the dream with this gun, is take out two enemies with one shot. Oh, put a dodge here. Take you out there. And a little small enemy. Down to 4 shots in this, which isn't too bad. Those are some bad rolls. I don't want to use that. Winchester it is. There we go. The only downside to the Winchester, it does reload relatively slowly. Like I said, otherwise it's a pretty damn good gun. And let's keep chickening people. And bomb it. Ooh, strafe gun. Strafe gun's good. Oh, what the hell hit me? Oh, it's one of these guys. Okay. Fair enough. So we took a little bit of damage there, but we got the strafe gun. Strafe gun, there's actually a game called Strafe on Steam. That's what the gun's based from. But we'll save that for a little later. We'll finish up using the hexagon here. And see, as more curse you gain, more cursed enemies are going to show, more damage your potential to take. Oh, I didn't roll out of that. And I have 3 veterans here, which is never a good sign. Have to be real careful with my movement so they don't surround me. There we go. Got our health back. And we'll use the strafe gun as our room clearer on the next floor. Assuming we get to the next floor. I never assume I'm going to get to the next floor in this game. Rooms can turn real bad real quick. Oh, there you go. You're both down. Oh, you're still alive? How are you still alive? Now you're dead. Okay. So what we're gonna do here... Oh. So there are chests that do this that will just explode if you don't open it in time. I'm gonna open it. Rocket propelled bullets is actually pretty good. Kinda no reason to not open it there. We have a good armory setup. We're just a little low on health from where I'd like to be. I have fought the dragon with less, but ideally you want to give yourself some breathing room on these later floors. Just as insurance, you know. You're bound to take damage at some point. Unless you're just having an amazing run, which does happen. You will get runs where you just kind of flawless the game. Nothing hits you, everything lines up right. I'm going to take your health. Actually, you're not going to use the lawmet in that room. You want kind of a wide open room to use it in. Okay, and it's facing north again, so that means high possibility that's the High Priest again. I know I flawlessed it once, but that's... I can't really make a habit of flawlessing it. So let's hope we get a different boss here. What is our... Oh yeah, bait launcher. Let's see what we get. Kill pillars maybe? Yeah, kill pillars. Nice. Yeah. It's actually a really interesting boss. I like this boss. So it's 4 magic pillars that come to life. Hearts of stone, kill pillars. So what they do is you have to take them down so there's just one left. Oh, I just took way too much damage there. This is not an ideal gun for this fight. Too much charging. Okay, yeah. Now we're in danger territory. Toot. RPG, even though it's slow, it's relatively good here because it'll destroy a lot of their shots. But we need something that's going to do a lot of damage quickly. We're actually going to switch to the strafe gun. I've already taken damage in this fight, so I'm not worried about taking more. Don't worry about our rolls. Typically, I like to roll behind all these shots. Kind of gives you a better chance to keep attacking against them, but that's alright. That's why I'm saying, like, these floors can just change on a dime. There we go, we took one out. We really want to take the other 2. So if all possible, you want to focus them down. If you focus them down, you can get to, it's only one left a little bit quicker. There we go, exactly that. And then the one last one just comes after you. So he just jumps at you, shoots those. It's easy enough to dodge as long as you don't back yourself into a corner. Relatively easy. When you guys hear all that popping noise, that's me reloading. And the actual shots exploding that are in them. So we took a bit of damage. Machine Fist is okay. It's a decent weapon. It's not great, but it's decent. Here, nothing here. We'll go down and get this chest. So that was kill pillars. Kill pillars, usually I do a better job of dodging. It's probably my worst floor 4 boss though, actually. High Priest usually doesn't give me too much trouble. Yes, it is a difficult boss, but it's one of those where I expect it to be difficult. So it doesn't really surprise me when he is. Kill pillars though, they always surprise me. They always somehow do extra damage to me. And we'll stick with strafe gun so we can kind of see how it works as a room clear as opposed to A boss clear, which came in kind of clutch there. Let's see what we got. Let's go into the 5th floor here. And we may go into bullet hell. It just depends on where our life is at. You out. A lot of mini shots. And mini shots lead to explosions. Just you guys out. Boom. Where did he go? There he is. Just come over here so he can't touch us. And we go down here. Strafing kind of gets a lot of flak though, because it's not up front a ton of damage. It's not the greatest room for it, it's not the greatest boss weapon. I think it's fine, I think it's a fair gun. Ooh, that's a bad combo to start at. There we go. Ooh, I think it should be, I think it's either red or black tier, which, if it's red tier, I think that's a very good place for it. If it's black tier, I think it's a little high. Probably should be red tier. Because it is a good gun. It's quick, it does a lot of damage. It's relatively accurate. So, 4 and we're out. Yeah, why not? You're out. Let's see what we want here. We'll actually put this in the commando, make our dragon fight a little easier. And we'll switch to the trident, since that's another one we picked up and we haven't used yet. So trident, very few shots in it. It's not a great gun. It's good. Like, if I find the trident, I'm just like, I don't say, oh no, the trident, oh boy. It's a fair gun, I'll use it. I wish the clip was a hair bigger. I think it would help, but the reload time's good on it, so. And it has good range. So it has kind of 2 out of the 3 things that you want. Good range, decent damage, and decent reload time. Not great on the damage, like a little bit more, but that's okay. Take you out. Case in point right there, though. Decent damage, not great. You can tell I've stopped using the Llama configure. I have enough curse where I'm kind of comfortable with. So I'm already taking damage on non-cursed enemies, and we're low on health as it is. So that's one of the side effects that can happen with the Llama configure, is that I can just straight damage you. It'll take a half heart from you. I don't want that to happen when we're this low on life at already. Go down here a bit. Another chest. There's nothing I can do about this one though. That one's just gonna explode. I don't have any keys on me. Oh, I can try to lockpick it. Lockpick it. Ooh. Quick thinking, I forgot I had the lockpicks. Because the pilot can actually have 2 actives. Very few characters can have that without having another passive or active that allows you to have that. So I always forget that he has 2. I always just see the one that he has equipped. I don't really want to have to go through this room because this is one of the challenge rooms I don't like. And that's exactly what you don't do in this room, is just roll off the edge. That did not work out well. To wait for this platform. Ooh, okay. Oh, and there's Dragon. So we could go to Dragon, but we have a ton of money. So we're actually going to try to find the Forge Lady. I know. We could just go to Dragon, end the run. Call this run good. Because I do not think we're going to have enough health to go down to Bullet Hell. I can show you Bullet Hell, but I think that'll ruin the surprise for newer players. Because going to Bullet Hell is an accomplishment in and of itself. Just getting all the pieces to get there. Oh, hello. Did not see that enemy there. I'm just taking so much damage here. Let's do that to try it. Now, this big skeleton dude, he can actually do a different attack than that. Where he kind of lassos bullets around you. So that's a little bit harder attack that he does. Just something to be aware of. So ideally you want to get him stuck and take him out before you can even get to that point. If he gets to that point, he's more than likely going to do damage to you. It's actually a really powerful attack. It's relatively easy to dodge, just for newer players it's a little bit more difficult. I'm just taking damage left and right here, we may not even get the dragon. I keep taking damage like I am. We'll use up this, let's see, what else? What haven't we used? We haven't used the machine fist, so let's show off the machine fist. Machine fist is basically a machine gun. But when you reload it, it becomes an explosive fist. So, hence machine fist. It's actually a decent boss weapon. Just because it's a lot of fast acting shots and then it's one big explosive shot that can clear out some bullets for you. It's not great, you run out of ammo relatively quickly because it is a machine gun. So it just kind of burns through ammo. There we go, let's dodge you. Oh, it's not good. That's the Thor hammer, which is the bane of many Gungeon runs. Oof, okay. Especially on a room like this where there's a lot of things going on and we're down to half a heart. Can't take any more damage. Whew, barely dodged that. Okay, we're down to half a heart. Have to find the Forge Lady soon. Because hopefully the Forge Lady has some ammo, or has some life rather. Of course you. This is the key vendor, so instead of paying for things with money, you can pay with keys. AK-47 is great because it just shoots keys, so once you have it, you essentially have 500 keys, because I believe it has 500 ammo. So you basically can open every single chest that you ever come across, which is super handy actually. I was trying to reel that one back in. Couldn't quite do it there. Go back here. Let's spin around through there. Almost got me there. Okay. Give me just a sec here. I have to plug this cord in. There we go. Alright, now we're connected. I actually don't like starting rooms with the fist. I prefer just to shoot. You kind of crowd control better if you shoot. Okay, you're not going to get that summon off, dude. So he actually summons those big golden skeleton looking guys. We're about to run out of ammo for that, so let's switch to... yeah, let's finish out the AE then. Oh, here's Forge Lady, and of course she has no health for us. We're gonna take alpha bullets. What alpha bullet does is single shot. Your first shot with every weapon does more damage. But with single shot weapons, they'll always do more damage. So we're actually going to take the ammo for this, and we're going to use this as our boss killer. And we have enough for one key. So we'll take it, and we'll go open this green chest. And then make sure there's no other hearts on the floor. I think I picked them all up. Yeah, I picked them all up. We do have 4 blanks, so we have a chance. Oh, yeah, that's good. Stuffed star. It's protective flush, so it highlights you in like a rainbowy color, and it protects you from damage for, I don't know, 4 seconds, 5 seconds, whatever, however long it lasts. Dragon, meet AU gun. Oh. Let's see if we can't take him out. We flawlessed him last time, so we should be able to. And we have much better weapons this time. But sometimes that doesn't always translate. I actually hate that combination of shots because I always forget they bounce off the back and end up taking damage to it. out here. 5, 4, 3, 1. Switch off to. Don't do what I'm doing. Always kind of set your weapons. So it's real dangerous to switch through weapons in the middle of a fight. This went bad. Gonna do a little bit more damage to him. Just gonna blank there. Early blank, but we needed it. Should be okay here. Yeah, we're okay here. Now we do not really want to use this for his last form. That's why I filled Commando before we got here. And stuff star this because I don't trust my rolls there. Let's do a ton of damage real quick. We have 2 blanks, and I am going to use the 2 blanks just to ensure we get through this here. I don't want to die, and I've died before on half a heart. Just mistiming these jumps. There we go. Boom, 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 boom. Not the cleanest dragon run we've ever had, but not too bad either. There we go. Perfected him. And we're out of the run. So not too bad. We did get to see the Oublet. We did get to see the Old King, which are actually relatively difficult in the Old King to A, get to, B, defeat. I'm going to leave that as a secret for you new players, though. You're going to have to discover A, how to get to Bullet Hell, and B, what's in Bullet Hell. So we're going to call this run good. I'm going to receive the gun that kills the past. Okay. Zoom in on you. Gungeon. So we're gonna let the credits roll on this one since I didn't last time. That's my bad on last time. We are gonna do it this time though. Make sure you can see all the developers. I really hope this sells well on Switch. It's a really fun game. I really like it. It is difficult. Not gonna lie. I made some of those look easy. That last run there as the pilot was a bit difficult. I mean, a lot of people die facing the Old King if you're not prepared for it. But overall not too bad though. We had a pretty decent 2 runs. To the Gungeon. To the Gungeon. Like I said, just came out on Nintendo Switch. It's on sale on PSN for $7.50, I believe. It's usually right about 15, so half off for this game's not bad. Like I said, I have hundreds of hours in this game, so I know the weapons like the back of my hand, I know the bosses like the back of my hand, and you still saw how much damage I took and how much difficulty I had getting through some of those levels. But overall though, very fun, very enjoyable, different every time you play. Special thanks, so we should be getting it to the end of the credits here. And then we will actually wrap it up with this stream once these credits roll. We'll see our victory screen and then we'll call it an evening. Not too bad though. I may do the other 2 characters at a later date. Well, the other 2 base characters and then the 2 special characters. Yeah, it's actually made with Unity, which is awesome. To the Gungeon. To the Gungeon. To the Gungeon. To the Gungeon. Two, again, thanks for playing. You killed the past, but the Gungeon remains. It fades away, and we get our victory screen. And that's going to do it for tonight. So thank you all for joining me for Enter the Gungeon, and we will see you next time. Oops. That's not what I wanted. Oh, maybe. Stop broadcasting.